With so much happening in the world right now, it's fair to ask the question, can you tell if a loved one or one of your family members or a close friend is going from having a political opinion to being unhingedly radicalized? It's a concerning question, and it can happen to anybody. Sometimes this happens quietly without any apparent signals, but in the case of Trump's shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, his exposed social media files are a perfect breakdown of the mind of someone who is way past the point of no return. But you need to know where to look for, and that's what we are about to do. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and make sure to check my YouTube channel on geopolitics and markets, The Power Pundit. Let's get down to it. The first, props to Kanikoa the Great on X, who made this awesome compilation of hidden gems. And, well, I decided to organize them from lukewarm political opinion to let's go guns blazing. So in 2022, this man had a Super Smash Bros. YouTube channel. He was posting about video games, building a small audience, living a normal life in a Los Angeles suburb. By 2024, he had shifted to political content, but nothing alarming. He retweeted Kamala Harris' own posts. He shared the Taylor Swift endorsement. He predicted the day before the election that Kamala would win all the swing states and at least 3 red ones. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary, but I would pay good money to watch his face in that election night. Well, now, what was this guy reading every single day between 2022 and 2026? Not fringe forums, not anonymous accounts, not QAnon. He was reading the mainstream left. We're talking about Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post comparing the 2024 election to 1933 Germany, warning about Mein Kampf, calling Trump's victory the equivalent of Nazis being elected. Malcolm Nance from MSNBC, writing that the American people had voted to make sure loads of people would die at Trump's hands, that daughters, wives, and children would die, that it was free hunting season for blacks. Cole Allen retweeted all of it. And like this MSNBC contributor, Rick Wilson, calling Trump a fascist, an autocrat, corrupt, a traitor, mentally ill, and a danger to the nation. But not only that, elected officials, senators, congresspeople, telling him there was no law anymore, that Trump had surrounded himself with the equivalent of Himmler, Goebbels, and Heydrich, that Biden would be fully justified in nullifying the election results. Now, let me give the strongest possible version of the counter-argument. You could say that political hyperbole is normal, that nobody who wrote Hitler in a tweet actually wanted someone to pick up a gun, that the people who produce this content bear no moral responsibility for what Cole Allen did. And you would be partially right. But here's where that argument crumbles. Cole Allen was not processing this as hyperbole. He was not rolling his eyes at a dramatic columnist. Every single day, for 2 years, credentialed people with the blue check marks and television contracts told him that a literal Nazi had taken power, that daughters and wives and children would die, that the rules no longer applied. So at some point, and this is the part that nobody with a cable news deal wants to acknowledge, the brain stops processing that as metaphor. It becomes a description of reality. And once you genuinely believe you are living under a Nazi regime, the moral calculus around violence changes entirely. I have spoken about this extensively when I talk about values. Maybe you value justice, but you also value trying to solve things in a peaceful way. If at some point your warped sense of justice overrides your peaceful approach to your problems, then that's the tipping point and you believe that violence is an actual answer. Which brings us to July 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania. Someone shoots at Donald Trump and grazes his ear in front of thousands of witnesses. Cole Allen's response: a retweet questioning whether it was real. A photo of Trump's ear with the caption, "How you get shot with no scar." Then of September, Ryan Ruth is arrested on a golf course with a rifle pointed at the president. Cole Allen's response is to retweet a post calling it a fake assassination gimmick. Retweeting, "Pray for Trump? Why would I pray for the Antichrist?" Retweeting content doing acrobatics to blame the Kremlin and scrub any connection to Ukraine because the political optics require it. So think about where we are at this point. Two separate people had now tried to kill the president. Two documented, confirmed, prosecuted attempts. And this man's reaction was, "I don't believe it. And even if it's real, he deserves it." Now, political disagreement, even fierce political disagreement, has a floor. But believing assassination attempts are not real because processing them as real creates too much cognitive dissonance, well, that's below the floor. That is someone who can no longer be reached by facts. Now, I am not saying that you should take things at face value or accept the narrative, but just a pinch of critical thinking and common sense can take you far. And anybody with half a brain could tell that the Butler assassination attempt could not be staged. But turns out some people don't even have half a brain. But anyway, the weeks after the Ruth attempt, he kept absorbing more. Rick Wilson calling Trump a traitor. Joe Walsh calling him a lawless psychopath. Adam Kinzinger saying Trump must be defeated. The volume kept going up, and Trump winning the election was the final straw. And that November 7th, 2024, Biden congratulates Trump and promises a peaceful transfer of power. Cole Allen's response is that he compares Biden to Paul von Hindenburg, the German president who, in 1933, followed the rules and delivered Adolf Hitler to power. The same day, he posts about the positive of having elected someone who will give Putin America's nukes or set them off randomly, and links a song about nuclear annihilation. Also, by extension, he quoted tweets Tiffany Trump with a Bible verse calling her father the devil. And on November 12th, his own words: "The only thing humorous about America not having learned from Germany about what happens when Nazis get elected." So in Cole Allen's mind, on November 7th, 2024, the Nazis had won. America had gone full Fourth Reich. Or would that be the Fifth Reich? Because you had to count Trump's first term, right? Oh, my head hurts. But well, Cole hadn't invented that framework. He had been handed it, plainly, daily, by credentialed people for 2 years. And he swallowed it whole. He moved to Blue Sky in mid-November, and the post became more personal. On April 2025, everyone already knows Trump is a terrible person and no one has done anything. On December 2025, best time to buy a gun was days ago. Second best time is today. And just last month, put a traitor back in office, get treason. I don't understand why people are surprised. And then he drove to Washington. But this video is not about Cole Allen. It is about a question his arc forces you to answer. At what point in this progression could you have recognized something was wrong in someone you knew? Because most people, I think, feel the answer intuitively. The moment someone can no longer process assassination attempts as real because reality has become politically inconvenient, that is the moment to have a direct conversation. The rhetoric that fed this radicalization is not hard to find. It is still being said by some of the same people who will spend this week explaining they bear absolutely no responsibility for any of this. Well, let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy, and make sure to check my YouTube channel on geopolitics and markets, The Power Pundit. Much love and bliss.